Hello everyone, and welcome back to Cane Creek Ranch. You're probably wondering, where'd you guys get this fancy office? I built it this morning, along with Austin here.
We have a nice background. It's a very open setting.
It's a really good green screen. We spent a lot of money on our green screen technology.
Even the fans blowing the paperwork.
Yeah.
Everything is all natural.
This is all a fake set. We're actually down in Australia right now. None of this is real.
Nothing is real.
We have a virtual farm. And the bird sounds, those are chipped in too. But today we're doing a month in review for Cane Creek Ranch. Oz, would you like to explain to the folks back home or at their home
Sure.
what that is?
So basically, on the first of every month, we are going to be reviewing the previous month. So today is March 1st. We're going to be talking about February. We didn't have our ducks in a row to do this for January on our very first month, so we're going to just kind of roll everything into one here. So basically, every month in review video is going to start out with that, and then we're going to talk about comments on videos that stuck out to us throughout the month, and then we're going to talk about our future plans that we want to do with March.
So this video is a little bit more for you guys that are subscribed and wanting a little bit of the behind the scenes of where we're going, what we're doing, what's coming up. If you guys would like to support our channel here at Cane Creek Ranch, there's just a few things you can do. If you'd just like to hit that subscribe button or the like button on our videos when they come up, that actually makes a pretty big difference for us on how YouTube sees our videos and helps push them out. But besides from that, if you really want to support our channel, we're going to have a link in the description below for a place that you can donate to Venmo. And basically that money is just going to go towards chicken feed. Trust us, nothing's going in our pockets because we're spending way too much on this ranch to keep anything for ourselves at the moment.
In fact, we will get into that here soon. We've actually been selling stuff this past month to be able to keep going here. So.
Yes. As of right now, we have zero income except for the things that we sell from having excess in our previous life to being ranchers.
Pretty much.
But shall we dive right in?
Sure. So I guess let's talk about the biggest project, and probably the one we're most happy is almost finished up, is the solar panels.
Yeah, so we started the solar panels by going to an Amish sawmill, and we ordered our wood from them, and that ended up costing about 2/3 of the price. It was 1/3 cheaper than if we went to Home Depot or Lowe's, because we're trying to do all this on a budget, and the quality of wood you get from these Amish sawmills, pretty freaking good. Pretty good. Better than, like, you're not getting boards like this, at least at our sawmill, like you do at Home Depot or Lowe's.
No, every board is straight. It doesn't matter if it's an 8-foot 4x4 or a 2x4 that's 16 feet long. Yeah. Everything we've gotten from there is straight.
Yeah, you can tell they really take pride in what they do. And you guys will see in future videos, we're going to them. Actually, we just went this past week to order some more wood for more projects. But the one problem when you do order wood from the Amish sawmill is they do not have anything treated. So Oz, would you like to go in and explain to them how you found our methods of our madness there? And if you think they'll work, because we have questions.
Yes. Well, I did a little bit of research on how you treat just bare wood. Now, the wood we used is white pine because that is what's most available, I guess, in our area. Not necessarily, we don't really have trees on our property, or the surrounding farms here don't really have a whole lot of white pine, so I'm not sure where the Amish are getting it because they're about 30 minutes away. But I did a little bit of research, and it turns out the ranchers from out west, Colorado, Wyoming, Utah area, somewhere out there, have been treating wood themselves for years. And they basically take a giant propane torch and they just char and burn the living crap out of the wood that's going to be in the ground. Now, rumor has it that charcoal and all that just really hardens up the wood. It puts a basically a layer of carbon over everything, and water can't penetrate the wood. No idea if that's true, but also the second half of that is they use used motor oil and soak the lumber, or you basically put it on like stain. If you could soak it in a barrel of oil for like months on end, they say it's 1,000,000 times better, but we'll see.
Yeah, and we actually, not on purpose, ended up using two different types of used motor oil. We used regular like gasoline engine motor oil, and honestly, the stain looked pretty cool. It almost had a red tint to it.
Yeah.
But we did dilute with a little bit of diesel, which is probably farm diesel, so I don't know if that, I don't see how that would have added the red, but maybe it did, who knows.
Yeah.
And then on the second batch, after we ran out of that, we used diesel engine oil, and those boards are black as night.
They
got
super black.
Yeah, they are. You'd think we painted those boards black, so it'd also be funny to find out if like one diesel oil is better than the gas oil.
Yeah.
Now, when we did cut our boards, let me tell you, it did not soak in very far. So we don't know if all that work we did was for nothing or not, but hey, you gotta try, right?
Yeah, and we got a little bit of touching up to do since we cut everything. We haven't got everything sealed back up yet, but that'll be coming. And I guess this was also an old Japanese tradition from gazillion years ago. But basically, from the reports I've found, I don't know if I'll even call them reports. Comment from
the reports. You read the comment section, dude.
The comments that I have found on various different areas. YouTube,
I reached out.
Google, online forums. I got ranges that this wood will last anywhere from 20 to 100 years. No joke. Some people swear it's going to last 80 years minimum. Some people say you'll get 20 to 40. I don't know. Solar panels at 25 years will still have about 80% of their max output. So as long as it makes it that long, we're happy.
Yeah. So while we were building this, we had to tie it into our janky barn. So our barn was built in sections from what we're guessing. Probably back, what do you think, the 60s?
It's a minimum of 50 years old.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
our barn is really good age, and all the poles were sunk in the mud, which we're going to talk a little bit more about that here later. But the building's not straight anymore. As you can imagine, the roof does this number. We actually, talking about the gutters, we leveled them all out, but they still look goofy because the building's just not straight anymore, but that's no big deal. So we tied the solar panel structure into that, and honestly, we walked on it, hung on it. I'm a thickie, held me, so who knows?
Worked pretty good.
But yeah, so the next part is we put the panels on the structure after we got the structure laid out, got them all wired in and tidied up. You want to talk about the combiner box deal and what that does?
Sure. Basically, with it, at the moment, we're not even using all of those solar panels. We're only using 12 of them because I messed up months ago and ordered the wrong size inverter. It's a little bit too small, so we're just maxing out what we can use at the moment. It's basically you run strings. In our case, we're running 6 solar panels per string, running 2 strings. And so all of that runs to a combiner box that organizes the wiring nicely, has breakers in there, and then you just run your positive negative wire from that box to your solar inverter inside of the barn itself. So that or the solar charger, and that basically takes care of everything else.
So for the people that don't know much about solar, which is this guy, I know a little bit more since all this, but not a whole lot. Why don't you explain to them the comparison of our solar panel setup with the inverter to a generator? What generator do we got?
Well, I guess the easiest way, it's a 3,000, I believe it's a 3,000 or 3,500 watt output inverter. So that's basically what you're going to get if you got.
So what's the tiny quiet Hondas? Is that 2,800 or 2,200? I don't even remember. The Predator generator is 3,500. So we're just shy of the quiet Predator generator, you could say.
Except ours is quieter.
Very quiet.
Yeah, I mean, we've, been running it 3 weeks now?
Yeah,
Roughly?
I think so.
2 to 3 weeks.
It's been great.
We've had a few little hiccups. I just found out the other day when I touch the solar panels and stand on the ground barefoot, I get shocked. So I got to figure that out. We are using an earth ground from the combiner box down to a 10-foot long copper rod. But since we are using a wood structure, we didn't really ground out the aluminum framing of the panels to that. And I think maybe that's what we're missing. Because 90% of the time, those solar panels are on some type of aluminum galvanized structure, and everything is just grounded properly, and I think that's what we're missing.
Yeah. So moving on from solar panels, after we got those put in and the batteries hooked up, our next step was to get some lights in our shop. So this time of year, the sun is staying out longer, but once the sun goes down here at the ranch,
There's
not
nothing.
much you can do. So we got on eBay and ordered 10 lights for $250, and they were what, 10,000 lumens a piece?
Yep, 10,000 lumen, 100 watt a piece, LED lights with automatic motion sensors on them to cut them down to 20% power, which was pretty nice.
Yeah.
And they're working good so far.
That's pretty much what we got for electricity. We put a few outlets in, so our campers are plugged in now.
Which is nice.
Oh, man. I was just running off 2 tiny solar panels to charge the 12-volt system, and I had a 120 inverter deal. But, I mean, the setup wasn't much battery capacity. You could watch TV for the night and run your heater, and then your battery's dead. So now, even though we don't have infinite power, it feels like it.
It does feel like it. And my camper didn't really have anything, so we were kind of supplementing with a generator every few days.
Yeah, and we were spending a decent amount of money on gas for that generator, because I'd use that too, charge up my battery when it was cloudy days and solar didn't keep up.
Yeah, those solar panels you were using, that was only 200 watt.
Yeah.
One solar panel over there, they're rated at 250 watt, but they put out a little bit more.
Yeah. So, life's pretty good.
It feels pretty nice to just plug your phone in or the
Oh.
computer for editing in the camper, and
Yeah.
it just works, you know, charges the cameras.
You don't realize how grateful you are for your electricity until you don't have normal electricity.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden you have decent electricity. I won't say we're bulletproof yet, but we will be in the future. And yeah, it's freaking awesome. Just like charging your drill batteries. It's huge. We couldn't do that before.
Right. And I guess the final part with the solar stuff we didn't really talk about yet for the solar nerds that could be watching this, like myself. Our battery setup is lithium batteries, so kind of like what's in Milwaukee drill batteries now. It's pretty well the same thing, but they are 48 volt battery banks a piece. We have 4 of them, and it adds up to just over 6 kilowatts worth of power.
So part of the reason why we had to get this electricity done sooner than later is not just for the comforts of life, but we also got chickens now. So you guys haven't seen a video of that. Expect a chicken video in a week or less if you're watching this on the day it comes out. And with those baby chicks, we have to have a heat lamp to keep them on the first week at least 95 degrees. And we had to keep them over at our parents' place, wherever that, I don't know where I'm sitting right now, wherever that is. And this week, we're hoping to get our chickens back over here. And in the next week to 2 weeks, we're gonna be building their coop. And their coop we wanna do out of all wood that we already have, try to save some money. And you know, the coop's gonna be an ongoing build.
Probably, until we get it perfected.
Yeah.
We've never had chickens before, so we've never had to deal with a chicken coop at all.
Yeah.
Other than we've gone around, kind of looked at what they used to do back in the day and what they do now that you can buy pre-made, but they're just so expensive. We don't want to buy a small one that could literally fit on this little workbench for $600.
Yeah. And it might not be the prettiest thing, but it's gonna get the job done. And we've, like we said, never had animals before, but
No, and we got 25 more chickens coming in about 2 weeks.
so we'll be building a chicken tractor for those when they show up. But we'll talk about that probably more in the next month in review, and we'll have videos coming out on them weekly or even more, just showing the update and how they grow and all that jazz.
Yeah.
The chickens I am very excited for. Right now we have had them for a week, just over a week, and they are growing like a wildfire. We need to do better at getting you guys some videos on them, guys.
Feathers are coming in fast.
Fast.
And they kind of can fly.
Yeah.
Already.
And believe it or not, they're all still alive.
Yeah, we ordered, 15 of them, and they sent 2 extra, so we got 17, and all of them are making it, so that's great.
We're very happy about it. For sure, I don't know if you should still expect to lose one or not, or if we're past the
point of no return.
Yeah, if more than likely we're good. I hope so, because it'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, if you know anything about chickens, comment down below on tips and tricks.
Earlier we were talking about how we're selling things to help pay for stuff around the ranch here because we have 0 income. We sold my old lawnmower because we won't be using it here. We have a finish mower for the Rural King tractor, so we figured might as well sell it. It wasn't anything special. It was like that Home Depot branded John Deere. It's a few years old, but we ended up selling that guy, and we got ourselves a mini DR wood chipper.
We saved $500 off a new DR wood chipper by buying it used off Marketplace, and it can take up to 2-inch 2-inch limbs, but it turns out it really likes 1 inch or smaller.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And the reason why we got the wood chipper is because we didn't realize, and there's probably cheaper ways to do it, but we want to do everything on our own. But we didn't realize, like, the bedding and stuff for chickens and whatnot, while you might not use a whole lot, it's still kind of expensive. And we kind of want to make our own bedding as they get older and everything. And we find that if you twice run the mulch through the mulcher, it makes a pretty nice, fine bedding.
Very similar to what you buy at the store.
Yeah, I can see how it seemed kind of pointless to buy a $400 wood chipper just for the chicken bedding. But if you add it up, I mean, it's $12 plus a bag. Was it 12 for the big bag?
I think so.
And so we'll be using it for that. We'll be using it for mulch around trees. We will use the sucker for quite a few things. I feel like it's one of those tools that you don't realize what all you can use it for until you already have it.
Probably.
And even a compost pile, because we want to have a nice compost pile for our chicken poo and leaves and all that jazz. So we can shred it all up. It'll be, exciting.
Should be nice. And we do want to get some more animals in the future. And maybe comment down below what you think we should get next. We kind of have a few ideas, but we want to see what you guys are thinking too.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess kind of the next thing rolling in is apparently a lot of you and a lot of other people that didn't subscribe really like the log cabin build video.
Yeah.
Which that is our neighbor's log cabin. We're helping them get a little bit of a head start on a few things, and their log cabin kit themselves was actually stored in the building that we ended up buying. So that's why it was in there for a while, and we couldn't do much inside the shop, is because it took up the whole center section. But here in the last few days, we actually got it out, got it all organized for them over there, and ordered a few logs that's been damaged in the past 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And we are actually putting up the logs here in a few weeks. So we'll probably make a video for that.
Yeah, and you know, it was cool seeing the positive reaction through it. And down the road, we're going to be building homes here on this ranch one day. So if you guys have like cool ideas or whatever, like A-frames or regular cabins, or just like, I even thought about a silo house would be cool. Just leave it down in the comments and we'll for sure look at them. And yeah, we're tossing ideas around because we think it'd be super cool to do a whole house build video from people that we've done minimal construction work. We've done concrete and just regular framing.
Yeah, we've built some houses, but
never done our own.
Yeah.
So we think it'd be really cool to do a whole series for you guys from the ground up: electric, plumbing, hooking it to our solar setup.
Maybe
like,
some geothermal.
Yeah, doing a complete off-grid house and then another off-grid house. So maybe we'll do 2 different styles to
But-
keep it cool.
And we want to do, we're even open to unconventional ideas, like you said, the silos, maybe, who knows, a lighthouse house. I'd be down for that.
I thought it'd be funny if Austin did like a windmill house, like you see at mini golf, the like Scottish looking windmill. He'd live in that and derive power for his home from the giant windmill.
I'm open for ideas.
But I might be looking more traditional for a cabin because I got hang deer mounts on the wall, so I need flat surfaces.
Flat, straight surfaces.
Yeah. But I guess you could probably build something in a silo. I still think the silo house would be cool, but I feel like there'd be a lot of wasted space in those.
Yeah.
But
Well, let's start talking about the big white barn here, the abandoned cattle barn. Since the logs have came out of the barn, we have really started to assess how much water gets inside this barn.
yes.
When this barn was built many years ago, the only thing they had planned for it was animals running through the thing. So there's 0 grading around this barn at all. There's about a 2-foot difference from one end to the other. It's about 64 feet long. And so we had to take care of the water problem immediately.
Yeah. On one side of the barn in particular, anytime it rained, it was straight up swamp/river. Like, we could have hosted so many mud wrestling events. We could probably pay for the concrete floor. That's how bad it was. And the art shop, it'd get wet too, but mostly it'd run in from the main door. So we've been working on grading. We're working on a water system, gutters to keep it away.
Yeah,
But
those gutters that were on there were just junk. They were probably on there from 50 years ago.
Yeah.
Steel gutters, they were rusted off, holes in them everywhere.
they weren't gutting nothing.
No, and we've done the math. With this roof, with 1 inch of rain, there's about 1,800 gallons that runs off this roof, and it was just running right inside this building.
We plan on deriving all our drinking water, shower water, tree water from the sky. Because we figured, look, we're already doing the solar thing. We don't want an electric bill. Why have a water bill? And we'll probably do a whole breakdown video on all that. But the numbers are not as bad as one would think. And you can pay it off in a couple years and then free water.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. So yeah, as of right now, we got the gutters up, and that's gonna help with that situation for now. But back to the building, we did do a test dig.
Not good.
Not good at all.
So the building is conventional pole barn style. On the inner section, there are these 4x6 posts that actually are treated when they put them in the ground years ago. But we knew they had some rot to them down at where the surface of the dirt was. You could tell just by looking at it, animals stumbling through the thing, termites. Yeah, it's not what it used to be. But so since the whole thing, the building is built halfway level like this, and the grade of the ground goes like this, we need to figure out how to level the inside of this shop because we're going to do our own concrete floors. So we had to dig down and see how deep these posts really were in the ground. And we didn't get but a few feet and seen some major issues.
Basically, the post that we did check out, and we are assuming every single post is the same way, was broken off about 3 inches under the ground. It was still sitting on top of the rest of the post, but barely.
Yeah, just like halfway over.
Staggered on it. So that we had plans of redoing our foundation. We knew that was going to happen, but once we discovered that little issue, it moved up on the charts quite a bit on getting that part done. And that's going to involve pouring concrete and
a lot of rebar,
Yeah.
concrete, and basically doing it kind of a foundation, kind of like a new home, or they do some pole barns that way. Basically, you just pour a deep footer, put your bolts on top. We're going to do a bottom plate with a real wall with a top plate along just under the roof trusses. And so basically when it's going to be real tight to begin with, so to help support I think it's what, eight or 9 or 8 to 10 posts holding up the whole building basically.
Yeah.
And so if they're all halfway broke off or completely broken off, it's basically going to be holding it up instead.
It's going to be a pretty good undertaking, but you know, it's just going to be one of those things that takes time and money, I guess, but time.
Yeah.
But yeah, is that pretty much it on the building as of right now?
Also, all this grading, which you'll see in the drone footage here, the whole front lot area was way higher than the building itself, and so we're getting a lot of water, just natural watershed issues running into that front door on top of the water running off the roof and coming in the sides. So hopefully, we haven't had a rain yet since all that was done, and it's not finished yet, but it's pretty close.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's honestly too, and since he graded that out there, there is a pretty cool gravel base there, and it feels pretty solid. I mean, it's not great. Apparently, our grandpa says that he remembers seeing gravel there when he was my age. So you can imagine what's left of it. There's still rock there. It's better than nothing. It makes me happy because we've seen a lot of gravel driveways put in this area, and the mud is so bad around here. Your first load you do, it's gone. Your second load you do, it's gone 2 days later. The third load, a week later. So hopefully we can cut down on like 2 of the loads by having a solid base.
Yeah, we got off about, I don't know, 4 to 6 inches of really black topsoil that probably was there from the farm equipment, you know, all the mud on it coming out of this field and just parking there in the rain. And the gravel just getting pushed down naturally, but we got all that off.
Yeah.
It's really
good looking topsoil that we'll probably use for our trees.
Something else we ended up selling was Colin's old 200,000 mile BMW. She owned after having it for what, 3 or 4 years?
Yeah, I've had that car for quite a while. What has that car funded? Oh, it funded something we can't talk about.
It's funded quite a bit. A lot of that concrete mixer, basically. Concrete mixer
and something green.
Green.
Blue, sorry.
Blue. Yeah, you may see that video coming soon.
We got a lot of videos in the works. When you're working every day and then you realize, oh, I gotta edit videos too. It's like we've had so many nice days lately that you don't want to be inside and edit.
No, we're supposed to have some rainy, crappy days this weekend, so I'm sure it's going to be an editing marathon on videos. But we're just so early in the year and the weather is turning nice so quick, we just can't stop working.
So much to do around here. All right, so what is the purpose of Cane Creek Ranch? What is the future? Where are we taking this ship? That's a great loaded question, Bundle, wouldn't you say, Oz?
Loaded question, for sure. But basically, we want to be fully off-grid and basically fully sustainable.
Yeah, so fully off-grid, I feel like around here is not common at all where we are. I feel like you see it out west.
In the mountains, always mountainous areas because it's really hard to get electricity probably, or really expensive.
And it makes sense to be completely off-grid. Here, I mean, we could have had the electric company and water company show up in the same day and be done if we wanted to.
Right, but to get all that put in, it's minimum $2,000 probably for the pair.
Yeah, so I don't know how you really explain us. Are we redneck hippies? I don't know. Basically, we've both had our own houses at a young age and been, well, at least up to our eyeballs in home debt, because when you buy a home, you're basically up to your eyeballs in home debt.
Great. Yeah, and granted, each house we bought, like we had our own house, and each one we bought was under $100,000, which is probably cheap for the nation average.
Yes, it is.
But at the same time, we do it. We're basically complete DIY people, and we do everything ourselves. And as for a budget, so we feel like we can just do it better.
And like the idea of having bills or having to like just owe someone money feels like it takes away from Like, I'd rather derive our own power if it costs more for the first few years, because you kind of take pride in it. You don't take it for granted also. You aren't just leaving lights on when you're like, I gotta take care of it. It's not just a money thing anymore. It's taking pride in what you do.
It changes your perspective.
Yeah, it does a lot. Trust me, I'm a wasteful guy. Very wasteful. But, yeah, so I guess basically we want to grow this ranch. We want animals. We want to be able, to sell products from our animals.
Yeah, whether it's eggs or meat chickens themselves, cows, pigs, you know, eventually down the line. And also, I don't eat much that comes out of a garden, but I like the basics, you know, corn, green beans, strawberries. But
Yeah.
we want to have a pretty good sized garden that we'll do with a little tractor. And eventually, when we start having more animals like the pigs and cows and all that, we need to figure out, one, what in the world they really eat for a diet, and two, how are we growing it?
Yeah. And
we only have about 4 acres, so we don't have a whole lot of room, but it's enough to get a good start.
yeah. The idea of growing your own food and not getting the garbage from the grocery store, which I know you can go to expensive grocery stores like Trader Joe's and get some organic stuff. That costs $1 million. We couldn't afford that even when we had jobs in a normal house.
No, and honestly, the nearest Trader Joe's is probably close to 2 hours away.
Yeah. So a lot of this also, it's not just about the money thing. It's wanting to be able to just be healthier, I guess. I don't know the wordage.
Speak for yourself on that.
Yeah, I don't know if healthier is the word. Just better quality food. Yeah, that might be what it is. Better quality food.
At minimal cost.
And because, like, I like cooking and everything. So I like having good quality products to cook with. And, yeah, it's, you know.
And it's another one of them things we haven't done. So we got to check it off the list.
Yeah, you never know. We might do it and turns out we hate it. And then all of a sudden this ranch is a hemp ranch. Who knows? We don't know where this is going. You guys got to realize these are just ideas.
Yes.
I don't know why I did sign language with that, but or air karate.
Which I guess something we need to keep in mind is the weather is getting nicer. We probably should start figuring out what we're doing for a garden if we're going to have one this year.
Yeah. We might have a lake garden. Any more future plans?
Well, I guess something else you'll see there in the drone footage near the gates. We've started getting that graded. We're going to try and have a gravel driveway area to actually park our cars. That's not in the mud and getting stuck every week, so that'll be nice. And also we got 80 trees coming here in a few weeks.
Yeah.
So we'll be getting a lot of them planted along the roadside and down the edges a little bit more privacy from the road. We have a ton of cars that just drive by so slow and just try to watch everything we're doing here because so much is changing at a fast rate and nothing has changed here for like the past 20 or 30 years for sure.
It's kind of a culture shock for the neighbors.
Yeah. Starting off with the solar panels got their attention pretty quick.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So as we wrap up this month in review, we talked about things we want to do in the future, but one of our main goals is to get 1,000 subscribers. Because with 1,000 subscribers, YouTube will give us more options to do things. It's not just for monetization, because we're pretty far away on the other stuff you have to have done for monetization. It's not that. Although that would be cool. Don't get me wrong. I won't lie to you about that. But when we hit 1,000 subscribers, we're going to be able to do more things on YouTube that, we want to keep it a secret because we think it'll be really cool and fun for you guys, the viewer. And it'll be a much more interactive way for you guys to engage with us here at Cane Creek Ranch. So if you are watching this, please subscribe. Steal your grandma's phone. Subscribe on her phone. Steal your mom, dad's phone. Download YouTube. Subscribe. That's pretty much all I got. I can't wait to bring you guys this stuff, but unfortunately YouTube has rules.
And also, on top of that, to help keep all of our viewers more interactive, let us know what your ideas that you want to see around the ranch. We're open to ideas, whether it's building something cool or you got a weird greenhouse idea. You got some
Yeah.
weird animals. I kind of want some emus here. I don't know why. But,
If I could have a camel, I would.
yes.
I don't know why.
Or a giraffe. Why not?
Dude.
But if you got some creative ideas, whether it's on anything for off-grid stuff, animal stuff, garden stuff,
we look at the comments,
hit us up.
and if it's cool, we'll talk to you. So like, I don't know if you guys get notified if we respond to one of your comments. So if it doesn't, just check it out, because we generally, if it's something engaging, if it's an engaging comment that's not just ridiculous, we'll engage with you guys. We like talking to our viewers, getting more opinions, ideas, because we're DIYers. We're figuring it out as we go. And if you guys know something we don't,
And everyone does everything differently all around the world. We've had some people comment from the Netherlands, which was pretty cool. I think last time I checked, our total viewers on our channel, only 40% come from the United States.
wow, that's interesting.
Yes. So 60% is somewhere else.
That's cool.
I know a lot of them were from New Zealand, Australia, Canada, the Netherlands. I think those were kind of the main areas.
Australia.
Well, that's going to wrap up the month in review. Look forward to a few more videos coming out this week. We have a ton built up that'll be rolling out here shortly, and hopefully get you all up to speed.